How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Forever Arsenal podcast. Hope you're all good and hope you're all well. Hit that like button first and foremost. Let's get it up to 1,000 likes. It's the last show before Christmas. So Merry Christmas to everyone out there that celebrates. Obviously, if you're off and you don't celebrate, enjoy the rest, enjoy the family time, enjoy the new year. But we've obviously got a show before the new year as well, because we'll be here after the Ipswich game and before the Brentford game on the 1st of January. Big up James, Lee and Jordan in the building as always. You lot all good?
Yeah.
All good.
Yes, sir.
I don't know, you lot, I don't know. It's not, and I feel very lively. It's an 11 p.m. one, and you lot seem quite 8 a.m.-ish. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean, actually. I'll tell you what, Arsenal winning was great, and we'll go into the performance, and we're gonna have a lot of good to say about the team and the performance. Even though I don't even think we were 5-1 good, but we were good. But Liverpool, man, and it's not just that they won. I was like, oh my word. I don't know.
They look good doing it.
At 5-1, I turned the volume right down. I fell asleep. Some of the goals they scored. And I know, here's delusional Arsenal fan talking. I felt for a while that, at our best, we're as good as Liverpool at our best because we finished above them the last 2 seasons. I felt when we went toe-to-toe with them in the game at the Emirates, I thought we looked the better team for most of it. And I just thought, it's a case of getting our players back, rediscovering our rhythm. We can get to that level. And I saw some of the goals they scored. And sorry to start this podcast on a negative note, but it's not really to be negative. It's just to be realistic, actually. There's the task of chasing them, but when you actually really look at it, man, look at the goals they scored against Tottenham. Look, Tottenham are a mess, right? They're the kind of team you can score those goals against because they will commit bodies forward and they can get pulled apart. But the execution of those goals, the counterattacks, the passes, the Bosline to Salah, whatever it might be, I just thought they were so cutting. Yeah. They conceded 3, so maybe they got weaknesses there, but the game was won by that point.
I don't know if this is a play from you, but you're getting me quite agitated and frustrated before I introduce our sponsor for tonight's show.
Sorry, I've started. You're right. I've started a conversation. I don't mean to do that. And
I know people have been loving the angry sponsorship.
You're quite good when you're wound up with sponsors.
That was your angle that you was going for.
It wasn't. But you know what? Sorry, you're right.
It's not sorry. It's not sorry. You're right. You're right. You are right.
Yeah.
But we are. I want to touch in on that some more before we do touch in on that. We are sponsored, people. A big shout out to Manscaped. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Already know they're the leaders in men's lifestyle and grooming, and every man knows what it feels like to walk out of the barbers with a fresh shape up. And Manscaped have got a new shaver this time for the head on top of your shoulders. It's called the Chairman Pro Package. Hey, I've showed it to you before. We've got a nice little image here as well. You can see all the bits and bobs there. I've got the Chairman Pro with me here. I've got the shave gel as well, and I've got the face soother. Only problem is I don't go for clean shaves. You see this big beard here? It hasn't been shaved for a good 15 years, I'd say. So I don't know which one are you two at the bottom was talking. Jordan, what you got your hand up for?
Yeah, just because Manscaped now, it's taking the piss now a little bit because like I'm reduced now to do my own shaving. Like yesterday, you can see I'm doing my own homemade idiot little shave. I look like a mess. So Manscaped, I beg, sort me out, hook me up, because I can't keep doing this B-Tech homemade shaving. It's not a good look. So Manscaped, come on, man, show some love, hit the subscribe button, and then send JJB a little gift for Christmas.
What you want the chairman
telling others to get Manscaped, not you to ask Manscaped to send it to you.
We could all have.
Might be the worst sponsor really.
Jordan, you use the code in it. FAPOD. That's the code. Get your. You know what? Manscaped. If you said something last week, I might have included you in the pot in the lottery. But right now we're talking about Lee, Judges, and James, who both spoke about one not being able to grow a beard and one not wanting to grow a beard. But this is for you lot.
I've got 2. I've got 2 of them, one for each testicle.
Show off.
One for each testicle. Jordan, you want to take one of his?
One for the left and one for the right. So thank you, Manscaped, for your packages. You know what I mean? Like, they've been very nice.
Oh, so you're hooking up Lee. The thing is, my pube game, the tweezer game's on point, so I'm not too bad downstairs, but I could always do a bit better. But anything you can send me, I'll take. But everyone out there, big up Manscaped, show some love. and use the code.
Man said,
Literally says face shaving kit on the ad.
and he said, my pube game. Nah. People,
Like,
this is
downstairs,
for
it's
the
on,
head
it's on,
above your shoulders. Manscaped cover you from top to bottom now. It used to be below the waist. Now it's from top to bottom. So get the Chairman Pro package today,
Can
people.
I
Get
ask a
20%
personal
off.
question?
Go on.
Can I ask a personal question?
Go on.
Right. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to. Right. Do you do under your arms as well?
Yeah.
I don't.
Not really.
I do.
It's not too crazy down there though. But some people, it's a mad thing.
I do. I you know what I mean. I like it. The old Manscaped under the old arms, the nuts.
There you go. Top to bottom, people. Hey, we can't sell it to you any better. We've talked about the pube game. We've talked about under the armpits. We've talked about the beard.
Back, Turkish. What about the back? Some people's back's a problem.
I'm at AFTV like you are. I don't work for Manscaped, man. I'm talking about the back.
I'm a waxer. I'm a waxer.
If you're watching the ads, hit us up with the products for the back because that's what Jordan. In fact, hit him up. Hit him up for the products for the back because I don't. I'm good. I'm good, people.
I think for the chest and back, you got to be a waxer.
Probably, yeah. Manscaped, man, sort it out. Come on.
That could be their next venture. Manscaped wax. Who knows? Who knows? Hit that link. Hit that link in the description
for
people.
men or women.
There's a pinned comment as well. 20% off using those links. Make sure the 20% off is applied during the checkout process. If it's not, then enter FAPOD, all capital letters, and you'll definitely get your 20% off just in time for the holiday season as well. So big up everyone. And let's get into it. James did start the pod on I guess the correct note, because this is why we've moved the pod a bit later. You know, usually this pod is done the morning after or the night of the game just gone regarding Arsenal. But I think considering Liverpool, Chelsea, and where we are at the moment amongst other teams in and around us, you know, at least seeing all of the games matter before talking. And yeah, I mean, I'm with James. It does feel like a knockback that Liverpool performed to that level. And got
really, come on, boys. We're talking Tottenham, and Tottenham's realistically second team defence out there. Come on.
Yeah, I'm not.
I understand.
Not surprising Liverpool
more fool me. You're right. More fool me. But
you didn't think that Spurs were going to get something from that today, did you? Really?
Never. I never thought that.
I didn't think Liverpool would look that good. That good.
James, come on,
but were they that good?
It was like opening of a fate, wasn't it? Like they were so open, like you know what I mean. Like, you know, it was, you know what I mean. Like,
can we score those goals?
Yeah,
against that Tottenham team,
they were so open today. Look at them, like you know, not being
a mess. I hear it, but they could have scored 10. They
got themselves up to 2-1, right? You know what I mean? And then they just they let where. They was as open as anything, like, you know what I mean? They should have scored before they did. You know, they was just opening them up. But Will, look, listen, we could have scored 5, 6, 7, 8 against Crystal Palace yesterday. Like, you know what I mean? You can't. I'm sorry, but Tottenham, you cannot go toe to toe with a team like Liverpool, and you're going to get done. Simple as that. Like, you know what I mean? Crystal Palace, to their credit, is it credit? Come and give us a go yesterday. Got stuffed 5-1. Why are you doing that? You know. I'm sorry, like, you know, yeah, Liverpool look brilliant. They've got some good goal scorers and all that, like, you know. But have a look at the first goal. He just runs into the bottom. You know what I mean? Wouldn't let that happen on a Sunday morning, let alone.
Okay, but you look at that first goal. You look at that first goal as Diaz has just run into a space. I look as Trent has picked out a cross that I don't think we have in our squad. I don't think we have the quality for a cross like that.
James,
no, I don't think. I think Saliba and Gabriel can get done on that cross. I think anyone. I think that is a fucking brilliant cross.
You know what it is, James? I think it's the fact that it's the attack, the clinicalness, and the decisiveness, and the quality, and how special moments can be with the individual level they have. And the fact that so far this season, I think we are all looking at our attack and trying to, you know, work out how this is going to click. And we're saying that, but Lee's also, you know, we scored 5. We're the second top scorers in the league. I know that argument comes into play, but the reason we are 6 behind at the moment, Liverpool have a game in hand, is because there's been games where our lack of clinicalness and decisiveness in the final third and quality as well has let us down, because we're not too far off goals conceded and goals scored with Liverpool. We're literally not, but we're far off in terms of games won and the points accrued. So I understand it.
I think you have to give Liverpool. I'll give Liverpool a lot more credit for that point against Fulham than what I did today. They was down to 10 men and really went for it and all that, and that was more impressive than today. You know what I mean? You have a look at. I think it was one goal today. They're 2-1 up. The left back's gone down, sprinting down to the right back. You know what I mean? They've played one ball which he's headed on and got on.
It's embarrassingly.
Embarrassing defending. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, like, you know what I mean? Spurs should be hanging themselves. Like, I've got a couple of my Spurs mates going absolutely mad today. You know what I
mean? They're not happy about this one. But the standard isn't are we good, or are we closer to Liverpool than we think? I mean, I still think we're a very good side, and we're going to talk about lots of positives from this Palace game. But I'm every time I'm watching Liverpool, I'm looking for things that we're better than them at. Like a reason to believe that across another 20 Premier League games, that gap will close, that we will catch them in some way, because there's got to be tangible things in our game that I believe we are better than them at. And that performance, and I know Tottenham were all over the place. I know they had an 18-year-old at centre back. I know they're a right back who the manager hasn't really rated at left back. I know they're as open as any team in the Premier League. I know all that. And it's not that surprising. They were 2-0 up against Chelsea, and Chelsea scored 4 and could have scored more. I know. But, yeah, Liverpool looks very, very good. The important thing is that we scored our own 5 this weekend. We got a good 3 points. I just, of course, I wish it'd been a weekend in which they travelled to Tottenham, and, a place that's typically, normally in the schedule, difficult place to go. And I wish they'd dropped points, but they hadn't. And they did more than just get the win. They actually made me feel like, they look really good. But that's just me.
What's scary is that I totally agree with Lee. I thought they would slap up Spurs before the game. I had no hope. It would have been a shock for me if that had been a draw or a Spurs win. It would have been a genuine shock. But the thing is, if you were looking at that as a game where they could drop points, well, the reverse now, obviously, fixtures at Anfield, so you assume they're going to beat them. That's one more fixture where if you were clinging on to Liverpool dropping points somewhere, away at Spurs, maybe, ticked off, see you later. Next time we'll play you at Anfield. Spurs ain't winning at Anfield. I know it's a while away, we'll see what happens, but it's just another game where if there was an inkling of hope, they could drop points. Liverpool just,
What's Salah's record? What's Salah's record this season? Has he got 15 goals already?
Yeah, something like that.
So I think it's 15 goals, 11 assists.
They said he was the first player to go double figures for assists and goals before Christmas.
By this time.
I mean,
is anybody doubling up on him today?
No, fair enough. But
nobody marked him. Spurs.
No, I don't think I did. I'm
18
sorry.
goals and 15 assists in 24 games in all comps this season.
Mm.
Oh my word!
And it's 15 and 11.
He's the best Premier League right winger of all time, in my opinion. But anyway, enough about Liverpool. Sorry, all Arsenal fans watching, but
no, but that's what we have to deal with, and that's why I'm so vexed with us in the transfer market sometimes, because we're at a point where you need to sign like someone that's going to be a star in that ilk. I love Saka, but Mohamed Salah is at an age and came into Liverpool at an age where he was kind of ready to turn into the player he turned into. Saka's still very young. He's still very young, can grow into that player, but we've also got young players around that ain't going to wait for other players to grow into. I've seen this before. So we're dealing with a Salah who seems like he's hell bent on getting this Premier League title maybe before he bounces, and one more that does wonders for his legacy. It pretty much stamps him as a top 3 Premier League player of all time. If we're talking attackers, and you could argue, and that's what we're up against. And not only that, Van Dijk, who's a great in his own right.
Yeah,
Liverpool have that experience that I didn't want them to get a sniff, because when you have that, imagine we had Henry and Adams right now at the tail end of theirs, would be a lot more confident being 6-9 points up, but we don't have that.
While we're talking about other teams, just want to say the Washington Commandos was absolutely outstanding today. Great result, beating the Philadelphia Eagles today. Were a very, very good side. So brilliant all day Sunday today. Well done, the lads.
Am I the joke?
No, it's great. You know what I mean? Talking about other teams. Washington Commandos, fantastic.
I was trying to work it out. No, Lee, I get it. I understand. But that's the position they put us in. We need to, discuss the teams that we're
I can
hoping
hear
to
the comments already. Oh, so negative. We won. And you're talking
And I've
about,
not even started yet.
we're talking about the title race, people. Look, I'm super happy with what Arsenal did on the weekend. But Arsenal fans in the comments, if they're saying it doesn't matter, we did our job, don't focus on Liverpool, some will mean it. A lot of people are lying. We were looking at what Liverpool were doing, like we were last week and the week before. We were.
I weren't today, James. This is where I was looking at Everton today. Everton and Chelsea was my game. I thought
You
that
weren't
was the one
remotely looking at Liverpool at all. I predicted Liverpool to win. I actually predicted it spot on. I think I said to Turkish, I think Tottenham could get something. Problem is, they'll probably score 3 and Liverpool get 4 or 5. I mean, that's actually what we said.
Yeah, she said that.
But okay, look, fine. We'll move on from it. And sorry to everyone in the chat and listening.
No, it's a fair point. I don't know where you're getting this disappointment from.
I think it matters personally for the context of the weekend. You said something in your fan cam, Turkish, which was like, you said, for me to feel like a winner, it's not just Arsenal in the weekend. It's not just Arsenal winning. We need those other results to go our way. And we've
got Chelsea.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm not chasing. I'm chasing. Yeah, okay. Let's move.
I agree. Let's move.
I've got to talk this. Who's going to win who's going to win on Boxing Day? You're going to watch it, Liverpool versus Leicester. Are you going to watch that? Who's going to win that game?
I have way less expectation of that. This Spurs side.
I'll tell you, that was a foregone conclusion. Liverpool going to win today, James. Really? There was no chance that Tottenham were going to win that game. Did you see the team they had out?
Okay, so did you think that Spurs 11 and back 4 was going to go to the Etihad and win 4-0?
Well, there's a difference between Man City and Liverpool at this moment in time.
Well, okay, but back when that game happened, they weren't quite this in the mud, City. And with the players Spurs had out, like Spurs are a side, whether we like them or not, they are a side that got goals in them. I mean, hell, they scored 3.
Yeah, but this is also a team that, you know what I mean, like that don't like Chelsea and Arsenal. If they've got a choice to see who wins the league, it'd be Liverpool.
I don't think that matters. Yeah. Look, I agree. I thought Liverpool would win, but it's still on paper. It's one of the fixtures you look at. Tottenham away. Who knows?
It balances out the emotion from me on the weekend. But
never rely on them. They're
a red card.
Never rely on them.
No, of course not. You can't. And that's the most disappointing thing, that we're sat here again going favours. But also, I'd rather pray for favours than give up on the title personally.
And I'll bet you my bottom dollar now that they put in a much, much better performance in the cup games.
Yeah, I think so. I actually thought that too, actually. But look, okay, let's be fine. Sorry, let's talk about positives, because we won 5-1, and I actually think there was lots of positives. I didn't even think we played that great. I really didn't. But we won, and we scored 5 goals, and we were really clinical. So who wants to go first?
Yeah, let's get into it. I mean, Lee and Jordan was at this game. So Jordan.
Shocked that Jordan was there. Like, I had to look twice.
Is it a hologram or is it really him?
There were, first of all the people that saw me there. Oh, so you do watch the games? Oh, highlights FC. Oh, bloody hell! Big up all the people that were there. We're showing love to the podcast.
Sean from Denmark.
Yes, well remembered. Big up, is it Sean? Was it Sean?
Sean. I think it was Sean from Denmark.
Sean from Denmark.
From Denmark, yeah. Big up you, man. All the international fans as well. It was actually my first time being in the away end at an Arsenal game.
At an Arsenal game ever.
No, it is. I mean, I've been in away games Arsenal as media, but I've never been in with the actual Arsenal fans. So I want to big up and say, yeah, obviously when you win 5-1 away, that's going to be a fun day. But no, everyone was in good voice. And it was good fun. So big up all the Arsenal fans that made it a good night out. I mean, if you want to kind of move on to positives, you guys might want to start with Lee and James.
Lee, what do you make of the game, mate? I've already upset everyone on the pod.
Positives for me. Jesus was brilliant. 5 goals. There were negatives in that game. I think that's a game that you can look and say, like, there's things to work on. Like David Raya has to make 2 or 3 really good saves. You know what I mean? Our 2 central defenders were put under pressure.
Yeah.
by my team. I thought he was brilliant, by the way. I thought he was absolutely brilliant for them, and he caused us all sorts of problems. We looked a little bit vulnerable in the middle of the park until Declan Rice came on. I thought Declan Rice, when he came on, was sensational. That's a massive positive. He was absolutely brilliant when he came on. It was like a performance. You dare leave me out of this side, whether you did or whether you didn't. I need to make a statement here, and he did. Thought that was fantastic. I think that at the end of the day, it could have been 2-2, 3-3, but we were clinical. Very, very clinical with our finish. That second goal, by the way, from Jesus was sensational finish. Absolutely brilliant. Another one from a set piece. I think that, and I say it, and I said it on my fan cam yesterday, that not many teams are going to go to there and get a positive result. They were a tough team. If they took their chances, they was more than a match for us yesterday. Like for 70 minutes, that was a real tough game of football. And then we took our chances at the right time. You know, Jesus was very, very unlucky not to get a hat-trick when he hits the post. Havertz nicks the goal. I didn't think that worked in midfield, guys. I'll be really honest. I was laughing and joking about him when I said, we could play him in midfield. He did. Got away with it. I've always said Mikel's a lucky manager. Lucky. He got away with it. You know, but he rectified it. And
can't leave him out, though. Can't leave Havertz out, otherwise people will panic.
Well, I think it was one of them Turkish that you couldn't play him up front because of Jesus.
No way.
I did turn around and say that he played Jesus either left, but I never thought that he'd play him in midfield. And listen, he's bagged the goals right, so that's it, job done. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna have to be really honest. I thought we was a little bit open and against not a better team, that's the wrong word, someone that was more clinical, I think we'd have been in trouble. But we got away with it.
Can I jump in on this point? I thought it was really interesting. I did a match report on the Gooniverse, and I couldn't believe how many comments I had. I didn't even say Havertz was good in the game because I didn't think he was very good. But a lot of comments, because I said from a system perspective, I thought, Havertz didn't play great. I kind of thought it worked. And a lot of people were sort of saying, no, it didn't. We got run through. We'll cut open. On another day, it's 2-2, 3-3. And I thought, okay. But let's look back at some of the criticism that we've had for Arteta in the last couple of months. Not really releasing the handbrake, not really letting this team go and express themselves and play. Now, in possession, the midfield was Ødegaard, Partey, Lewis Skelly. And then Saka and Marte were our wide players. And Havertz was playing in like a second striker role behind Jesus. So their centre-backs, and they play with the back three, were far more occupied because Jesus, I thought, was brilliant in the wars. And so often Havertz was winning the second ball and driving out their defence, or picking off loose passes. So I get we were cut through more, but I kind of wonder whether Arteta rolled the dice a little bit, which I think it's quite refreshing, and going, I'm going to relinquish some control, but I've got more goal scorers on the pitch. I've got more threats on the pitch. And every cross that went into the box, we did something with it. Every time we went forward, we didn't even play that well. Honestly, we didn't. But we didn't play 5-1 well. But it felt like Arsenal could score with every attack because of the sheer numbers. It felt like their centre-backs weren't just, dominating one lone striker. I felt like we had a little bit more in that area. So I agree we kind of didn't have the control we would normally have and that we've associated with this Arsenal side of the last 2-3 years. But I think Arteta kind of, I don't know, just sacrificed a bit of control and defensive stability for a little bit more chaos. And I kind of liked it. I respected it, whether we were cut through a little bit more or not.
Fair point.
It is nice. I mean, the argument the other day I made and a lot of us made was why you're not bringing Ranieri on to play with an Odegaard. And I think in that type of structure, I'd like to see Ranieri pick up Havertz's position and a more traditional 10 in the sense that he'll come, want the ball in the pockets and, link up, play triangles and all of that. Because that's what I know from that position rather than a target man / dual winning space invading guy. But yeah.
And goal scorer, don't you didn't mention
goal
scorer.
We can't forget that finish. We start with that finish. No,
you've got to be there. You got to be in. You got to be in there.
Like Eddie used to be there as well. Eddie
you don't buy a ticket. You don't win the lottery.
Yeah, how many lotteries has he won in his career? Bloody hell, he's a lucky man.
Yeah, but it's funny because we can laugh, but it's like, two men in the box, one hits the post, the other follows it up. Sometimes it's the simple things in football.
You're saying it's poetic, yeah?
No, it's like
there's poetry next year.
for everything we saw off the ball that said the system didn't work, I thought there were things on the ball that showed it did. I didn't think Havertz played that well, guys. I didn't. But I actually thought Arteta's tweaks worked. I thought this.
No, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
It's not. This ain't a show about it's not necessary. Like, I'm just tongue in cheek. You know, there's a lot of people in the comment section. It's more between me and them. Yeah, I love engaging. Why not, people? Let me know, where's the Havertz hype at? Jesus hype? What's going on? Come on, speak up, Jesus hype. We want to hear from you.
Can I just chime in with a couple? I think without repeating too much of what Lee said. I first of all, I didn't realize how good the Jesus finish was until I got home and saw it on TV, and I was like, Lee's right. That is a brilliant finish.
That was his best of the week.
Oh, mate. I can't. I was like, whoa, that was really impressive. And on Jesus, that for me is a better performance than what we saw in midweek. And I said this in the fan cam, and I got a lot of heat for a lot of my comments in the fan cam. But what I meant was, I don't think it's sustainable to be as bad as I thought he was in the first half and almost perfect in the second half, albeit with a hat-trick. What I want is my centre-forward to be really good for 70 minutes and a couple of goals. That, for me, is what I think is much more sustainable and much more easier to do rather than the two halves that he gave us in the cup. So I was really, really pleased that Jesus scored 2 goals, but I was equally as pleased that he did all the things that I want my striker to do. Darting in behind, won a couple of corners, occupied his centre-backs. His hold-up play was really, really good. He was on the ball. He was back to the old Jesus, beating a couple of players. That's what I want from my Jesus. Now, I think ultimately Jesus and Havertz, whoever's up top, will break your heart. I don't have faith that either of these guys long-term will score enough goals to fight back into the title race. That's a wider discussion. But the Jesus we're seeing right now, or we saw on Saturday, that's the Jesus that I want to see. Not, 3 goals in the second half in the cup, but he did nothing else. And that sounds a little bit weird, I get, but I love this Jesus. Second thing, I agree with James. I don't think we were that good for the first half. We were 3-1 up, but I don't think we played very well. And lots of fans were saying to me, who cares? 1-5-1, stop being miserable. Hey. But you know me, guys, my prism is always looking at the bigger picture. And although we won 5-1, it was disappointing to me. My main criticism was the chance creation. I still don't think we're creating enough goal-scoring chances. And I'll get to the floater in a minute. But I think generally as an attack, I'm still underwhelmed by how many genuine goal-scoring chances that we're scoring. It's not good enough. We were 4-1 up, I think, with half an hour left. The game was won. Palace's spirit was broken. That, for me, is where you do create some chances. That is where you should be flexing a little bit. And I just didn't see enough flexing in that last 25 minutes, considering the game was won. That, for me, was a little bit disappointing. Now, let's get to the flirt on the left. I'm holding heavy fire for my critiquing of him. And I'm going to caveat this point by saying, and I genuinely mean this, I actually like him. And I think he's talented. So everything I'm about to say is because I rate him. But I still need more. And a lot of the people that were saying to me, it's hard in the fan cam to really explain what you mean, but I want my left winger to do what I know he can do. I'll say it again. Every pitch that he goes on, he's the fastest man on the pitch. And I just don't see him beating players anymore. Now, people will say he scored a goal, but the goals are well and good, but I don't think his overall performance, I don't know what you guys felt, because people will disagree with me, which is fair enough. I don't think his overall performance was particularly special or good. People say he got an assist. He actually didn't. He didn't get the assist, actually. I don't think it goes down as a Martinelli assist. So he got a goal. But his output for me still just isn't good enough. Am I being really harsh on him? Because I'm not picking on him. I don't have an agenda against him. I'm just watching him game on game now for nearly 2 years. And for the time he's on the pitch, I'm just not getting enough out of him, what I know is in him, if that makes sense.
Go on, Lee.
I think you're being harsh on him on this one. I thought he played well.
Tell me why.
Well, first of all, it was Havertz's pass out for him and he gets the corner, which gets our second goal for Jesus. He then beats his man, puts in the cross for Jesus to head onto the post for Havertz to score. He also scores. So he's been involved in 3 out of 5 goals. I don't think you can ask for much more, can you? From
I think the first one's a stretch. He crossed and he got a corner. That's a bit, but the other 2 I'll give you. But I think he could do more than that.
Oh,
so maybe I'm being harsh. Maybe I'm being harsh. Maybe I've thought about this.
No,
I just think
you're not.
Even if I give you those three in 80 minutes, did he finish the game or did he come off?
No, he stayed
come
on.
off?
Stayed on.
For 90 minutes. I just don't think that's good enough, especially when, like I said, for half an hour of that second half, the latter half an hour, the game's gone. That's your chance to flex a little bit and really. I just want more from him. I think there's more, and I'm just not seeing it.
I genuinely think there's levels for him to go up. I do, but that's a good start for me. Good start.
We have seen Saka, I think, quite in and out of, let's say, like form from like a full. What's the word? In terms of like the performance always being there for a full 90 minutes, in last season's campaign, but output was always there and work ethic was always there and constant trying was always there. This season, I think his performances have gone up a level quite massively on last season and the output's continued. But I remember sort of always thinking when people talk about Saka, like, and he's not even at his best yet. And like, I'm not even sure he's as good as last season yet, blah, blah. I was like, but that's a sign of a great player that whether, double teamed, marked out the game, Arsenal
find a way,
best, whatever, he finds a way. And Martinelli found a way to dig out a great cross and then get a goal that, you can kind of go, well, it's the fourth goal in a 5-1 win, but, they pull one back. It's 3-2, things get nervy. It's a semi-important goal. And I think, and I've no one's talked about his work rate more than me. I mean, he leaves it all out there. And I don't know. Are you being harsh? Look, I think what you're saying is you rate him really highly, that you think he can do even more, which is kind of a compliment. But if the output's there, working hard, I think it will come from him.
I think because the overall issue for me is the overall attack isn't creating the amount of chances that I think we should be creating. And now with Saka out, if Dr. Julian's correct, for 6 weeks, let's say it's even 3 weeks. Let's say it's 3 weeks. Saka is us. Exactly. And I think Saka we all agreed that Saka has been front loaded with the responsibility when he's in the team. Now that he's not there, it's good to see Jesus come into a bit of form. I just think we need more from people like him. And let's not just dig him out. I think Odegaard can do a little bit more as well. I think the bench, I don't know what's happening with Sterling, and Trossard again for me was very meh. I just think overall our attackers, no one's really meeting the bar apart from Saka. And I just think if we're going to catch Liverpool, that's why all my criticism, it comes back to that. If we're going to catch Liverpool, we've got to create more and more chances. And that
why I brought up that game. Look at their forwards. And
yeah.
But anyway, I swear I won't mention it ever again.
Do you know what I will say? I don't know how you feel about this. As much as it was a great win and all that, it was because of the Saka injury. I didn't really enjoy it as much as I should.
Yeah.
Is that a fair comment?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because it can be more damning than well, we got the 3 points obviously, but the result of that injury could be very damning moving forward, more so than not getting the 3 points today. I
want to win the cup, Turkish, and I don't think he plays in that game now. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think he plays all January.
Yeah,
no, I don't think he does either. But I also want to just caveat by saying that this is really like an eyes versus number thing, because numbers tell us that last season we scored the most goals we've ever scored in a league campaign. Also tells us that I think we've scored more goals away from home in this calendar year than we have in any other calendar year. I think 2005, 2009 or something. I can't remember the exact years. So, like, everything tells us the goals are there. We don't have a problem putting the ball in the back of the net. The numbers are some of the best in our history. I think Arteta was asked about it, and he said it's not a trophy. Let's turn this into something really tangible, which is, the right response. So why don't my eyes match the numbers? Why do I not feel that we just scored 5? I mean, I don't know. We scored 5 at West Ham only less than a month ago, 2-3 weeks ago. Why do we have such fears about this attack? And that's not me doubting my feelings. I'm just wondering.
Do you know why?
Yeah, why?
The numbers I'd like to know. Scoring goals weirdly isn't actually an issue for us. What my problem is, and that's the numbers behind big goal creation, big goal chances. That's that's my concern. We created maybe 4 or 5 good goal scoring chances, and we scored 5. Do you know what I mean? That Jesus chance should never have gone in. That's a freak great finish. Do you know what I mean? I don't think we created 4, 5, 6, 7 goal scoring chances. You're never going to score all of them. Of course you won't. But I'm looking at the Fulham game. I'm looking at the Everton game, and I just fear there's more of those games down the line.
The Fulham second half the Fulham second half had more better chances than probably the two halves against Palace.
True, Everton
Weirdly, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I do.
But isn't it funny how you just have to be clinical? Like, efficiency is a massive part of this game. Like, keeping a cool head in front of goal and taking your chances, because on another day, that Fulham, especially that second half, that's probably enough for a 2-1 win.
Possibly.
And on another day, that Palace is probably a 3-2 win. We've drawn one. We've
yeah, it's true.
Like, football's a funny old sport.
I think we're finishing at a very high percentage, and that's not sustainable. I think our finishing is. I think we are
this week.
Well, yeah, but even against West Ham, we scored 5, but we didn't create 10 chances. Do you know what I mean? We were just clinical. Anyway, my overall criticism is just that as a team and as an attack, I just want us to create more goal-scoring chances, and I need people like the Flirter and now Jesus. I need them guys to really step up their game and create some more chances. That's all.
I just feel we're two X factor players away from having the necessary everything to take attention away from Saka. Have more players that can create a half yard of space in a tight pocket than we do now. I literally think we're just there because the reason, James, you probably it's what you just said about the eyes and the numbers and that, because Arteta, we haven't won anything with it. And that's why we look at the games where we should, like Aston Villa, we should have been up at half time of both games last year.
Great point.
West Ham 30 shots throughout the game, and we didn't, get a goal. So we have to look back at these ones, because as much as everything else throughout the season, when you look at goals scored, you compare it to great sides, how many wins, points, and all of these accrued, it led to nothing. So we look at why, and we look at those games. Like this season already, we've had many of those games where, whether it's Martinelli against Bournemouth, I think it was, or I don't know, was it Kai against Fulham with the left foot shot that just kind of trickled wide? Like when you've got a player that is a threat, is a real threat to the defenders, because right now our threat is more the overall structure. It's how people pull out of pockets and how the other player tucks into that pocket. We, aside from Saka, and even Saka has that limit. I go back to Salah, I'm talking now. We don't really have a player that can just do it.
Do a thing.
And Henry had that. You just thought, something's coming in this game where it might not lead to a goal, but something is coming in this game. At least 2-3 times something's going to come. We don't have that anywhere else aside from Saka in attack. That's kind of the problem. I like how Odegaard in this shape drops back as more of a midfielder than a 10, because it allows us maybe in the future to bring in a natural 10, like a Nwaneri, or buying in one. Because then if you can have a Saka, and listen, I'm playing FM here, but let's just say we have a Wirtz in that position that Havertz occupies in the structure we played against Palace. Free reign, can pick up the pockets. Do you know how much better that attack gets just with that one move, regardless of even replacing Jesus or Havertz up front and replacing Martinelli on the left? Just get a couple X-factor players in the right pockets now. The number 8 position or number 10, depending how you want to use Odegaard, and the left wing. On Martinelli, you lot talked about Martinelli. Enough is enough for me. I mean, I like the performance, and I think it's something to build off now. But by enough is enough, I mean, this is the season now that even with this poor start, get us 15 goals, 13 to 15 goals. That's the target.
And the wickedest thing, Turk, is you're saying bring in an X-factor player, and I agree. But I think even if the Flirter ups his output by 10%, I think it's a significant difference. I don't think teams are genuinely, when they're setting up, are looking at our left-hand side and thinking, whoa. Yeah. But I think we need that. I think if we had it on the left and the right, I think we would create so many more chances, because there'd be more space. I said on my fan cam as well, when was the last time you saw Martinelli actually go past somebody? Someone said he did it once in the game. I can't remember it, but let's say he did it once. I can't remember the last time I saw. 2 years ago, he was getting the ball, squaring you up.
Not a great view at the Palace, I have to say, Jordan. I'll give you a bit of sympathy there.
And ultimately, like I do want to say, as much as we talk about players and who we want in transfer windows, ultimately Arteta is the person that needs to solve this. He is the person that we look at in terms of defense and how good we are now, how structured we are, and listen, I love it because we was bantered for years about how shit our defense was, and let alone that we used to see some absolute clown performances from some of our defenders. So we love that. But when we look at the attacking side of things, there's a big question mark on. Listen, last season we flipped the switch, Dubai break, Havertz up top, it worked. It just didn't accumulate to anything come May. We cannot afford that to happen again because the season started in the same fashion where, all right, it can click and then we score goals and then we go on a run. But you know, we need to January with Saka out now. We need to move. I said Gyökeres or Osimhen, guaranteed we need to break those release clauses, talk to both of them and decide who we want. Let's not mess about January the 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Now with Saka out as well, if this club doesn't do anything, come on.
I want Kudus still. Still the player I want.
Who?
He might be useful, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they're going to have to do something now, though, aren't they? If Saka and Sterling are out for,
I don't think they will. I don't think they'll do anything.
They're not going to do anything. They're just not. They're not. They're not. Yeah.
Just from a financial perspective, if Sterling on loan on deadline day was your forward addition, having been a position that we needed to address for so long, I'm not really sure what better position we were in January. Obviously, I've no idea how the business of football works, football clubs, but
nor am I. But you know, if we do come to February the 1st, and let's say that run we all want us to go on hasn't, you know, it hasn't come into reality, and we're still, you know, some way off 9 points, whatever it may be, and we haven't strengthened in the window, and it is financial reasons, then why did you buy a left back for 40 whatever mil in the summer? We go back to that. We can't forget. We can't just keep on forgetting things. Because that is the facts. Or Kai, why was Kai your addition to 8 and then you moved him to strike? We have to go back and start asking questions. We have to improve the side in January. There is no ifs, buts, or maybes there. I agree with you. The likelihood is we don't, or we get in a bit part. But I swear we was offering 26 million for this Garcia keeper towards the end of the window or something like that. Where did that go? We do some things sometimes where it's just like I don't care about the books and all of this stuff anymore. Just go and do what you need to do now.
Talking of left backs, though, how good was Lewis Skelly?
Cold.
I singled him out. Yeah,
cold.
Yeah, well done.
One of our, I think Jesus, Raya, and then probably Lewis Skelly was our best three.
Yeah, with probably Rice fourth, and that's what's crazy. Yeah. I didn't think the centre backs had a great game. Timber was fine. Partey sloppy at times, brilliant, at times sloppy. Saka obviously got injured. Martinelli in and out. Trossard, I mean, lovely run and cross for Jesus when he should have scored, and then Martinelli did. But he was okay. Trossard, Havertz not great. So yeah, I mean, we're sort of down to then. I kind of thought Calafiori's cameo was better than actually. Yes, Italian tax, but I don't care. But yeah, Lewis Skelly. And if Jorginho had come on, he'd have been brilliant too.
Calafiori was very good when he come on.
I thought so. I thought no one reacted. So I thought, okay, it's just me.
I'm worried about him. Is anybody else worried?
But can we just stick on Lewis Skelly for a second? Because I don't. If Nwaneri was put, and listen, I like Nwaneri, but if he was putting out performances like this, we would definitely have 25-minute segment. It's just that Lewis Skelly's a left back, and he's not really a left back, but
he was brilliant.
You know how cultured he is on the ball.
Yeah, he was brilliant.
His first touch will go into a place where you think, oh, but it's not all. He knows what he's doing. He's going to win that free kick or completely lose the man. He's done that so many times, and from a position where when you're young, it's harder to come in because you're coming into a solid defense. It's not a struggling attack where you might be able to change things refreshingly. This is a solid defense over the years where 17, 18-year-old is coming into. And in my opinion, it's his spot to lose at this moment in time. And this is coming from someone who says, don't rely on teenagers.
Do you know what's interesting is that they showed you a picture of Jack Grealish coming on this week when he was 18 and have a look what he's like now. You know what I mean? He's like a man, muscle and everything like that. Just, Miles Skelly's got to grow yet, like, you know what I mean? And he's bashing off people at the moment, like, when he develops,
he's got big legs.
When he he's a solid lad, but he's going to get bigger and better and stronger. And I'll tell you one, I don't know if you noticed that with Crystal Palace. You probably noticed it, Jordan being there. They're a big side. They're not a small side. They're not a nasty side. I'm not saying they're but physical, strong.
Lee,
you have to be brave.
Lee, a few times I think you mentioned it, maybe Jordan mentioned it. We all have about certain players pulling out a 50-50. I don't know if you don't remember, but there was one 50-50 that him and whoever it was on that Palace side, they both went in. There was no pulling out.
Yes, I remember it. Yeah.
And again, 18 years old. Like, I'm not just seeing quality technically.
Yeah,
I'm seeing mentality and I'm seeing aggression, and like I like it a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you.
And 18, like when you're talking about footballers, it's sort of been normalized that a player at 18 could sort of come into a team and at any level or whatever, and you just forget how young that is. Like, it's like it's the growing he still has to do. You're right. It's also like, you mentioned the maturity there, but think of all the it's an 18-year-old, right? And think of the tactical understanding. Think of the instruction from Mikel. Think of everything he's having to take on board. How he's having to look after his body and stuff. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's so impressive, and I think it's just really brushed under the carpet how impressive it is what they're doing.
I agree with Turkish. I think it is his shirt to hang on to now, and I find it a bit of a weird sub taking him off. Now you might have taken him off because he's young and manages minutes, but he was doing all right. The game was won. So there was no real pressure on him, and just kind of moving to Calafiori. I like Calafiori, but I've said before I don't think he's a left back. And also, what's concerning is that for someone that's really aggressive and combative, he's not a pea, he's not a cat, he's not weak. He'll mix it up, but he's really, really fragile. Like he seems to be really fragile, and these kind of niggles and knocks and injury time. Is anybody else a little bit concerned that we've got a really good player that we're not gonna see anything of him in the next 2 years because he's gonna be in and out, or is it just me being? Is it early fears from me?
I understand.
I understand the concerns. First,
I just think to myself, we've just bought you, and you've missed a lot of football through injuries. He went down when he came on for a little while. He carried on.
Did you see the tackle though?
That was a bad tackle, though.
It was a bad tackle. No, okay, that was a bad tackle. To be fair, but I just genuinely always get kind of concerned when he goes down now, and I'm just like, for someone that's actually quite strong and combative, he seems quite fragile at the same time.
Can we just deep this for a second, okay? Last season, we had 4 options at left back. Kivior was playing there in our better stretch, actually, of games and wins as our starting left back. This season, the battle for me at left back is between 2 players, of which neither we considered an option last season. So last season, it was Zinchenko, Timber, but he got injured, Tomiyasu, Kivior. None of them now. We've signed a £40 million one. Oh, and an 18-year-old we've developed who is actually a midfielder, but could you play left back, please? I mean, Arteta's obsession with this position. This and goalkeeper. Basically, if you're a left back or a goalkeeper, tell your agent to call Mikel because there's a chance you get a move. There's a chance.
Not anymore. The pitchforks will be out. Any more keepers and left backs and centre backs and all of this stuff. Well, I'm done. I'm well and truly done.
Am I wrong?
You're not. That's the problem. That's actually the problem. But let's on the subject of a goalkeeper, Raya. I mean, a couple big saves, big moments. 2-1 up to keep it at 2-1, and right at the start of the second half to keep it 3-1. And I think both times when teams tend to score, it's not a great time to be conceding because the momentum shifts and confidence is gained. And again, another game where you can attribute some of the points, a portion of the points to Raya. And I think it's the same to be said for a lot of our points this season, a lot of our games this season.
Player of the year so far?
Probably Saka, Raya, and Partey probably.
Yeah, Saliba,
Timber, Saliba.
I think I'd just go Raya above Saka. He's made some big saves and some big moments in games this season. Games that if saves hadn't been made, they could have easily gone the other way.
Yeah, early on, especially the first 4 or 5 games of the season.
Gabriel's got to be up there for me.
Gabriel,
yeah.
I'll tell you what, that save from Mateta was unbelievable. That was a game changer. That would have been 2-2.
Yep.
Brave, really out quickly. You know what I mean, Jordan? Because we was right by that when it out quickly to him. Really good save. You know what I mean?
Swatted him.
Yeah. The second one felt more routine, and he pushed it up a little bit too near to Saar. But I thought that, you know, Raya again had a couple of little dodgy moments with a couple of passes and all that. I have to say, I think he was a bit sloppy like the rest of them. But I thought when it mattered, he was brilliant today. Brilliant yesterday. Sorry, great save. And he's doing a few of them. But I tell you, also, I have to say, there was 3 or 4 times crosses are coming in. He just plucks them out and just takes all the pressure off of everybody. Like, you know,
best in the world. He's the
really good.
When the ball's in the air, he best in the. I said before, he reminds me of prime Thibaut Courtois at Chelsea. Anything in the air, he just grabs. He's just so good. So good. You're right, mate.
Really good.
Yeah.
Can I make a comment on corners? Because I noticed that Palace and other teams are going to be doing this as well. When we had, I know we scored from a corner, but they copied, I think, what Monaco did. Which when we have a corner, they put 3 players on the halfway line, which is, I get the logic. It's actually quite risky as well, because the logic is, well, if we put up 3, they've got to put up 4. Which makes sense, right? But then the downside is it gives the big attackers of the ball more space in the box, because it's not Gabriel going back, it's not Saliba going back, it's the little ones. It's do you know what I mean? So I just wonder if they've got a bit more homework to do now to try and prepare for teams to kind of wise up against our corners, because that was quite evident that they blatantly copied Monaco, and you could argue it didn't work because we scored. But
the manager,
I think it's a flawed tactic. Sorry, Turkish. Sorry.
No, I just said Glasner mentioned it, but yeah, I wasn't saying anything else. Go on. Floor tactic.
We go man for man, don't we?
Yes, well, I don't know if man for man is.
Yeah, well, no, normally if you put 3 back, you have 4 back. But we actually go. If they went 3, we went 3-3 as well. Like, you know,
okay, I get you. Sorry,
do you know what I mean? Like,
on our corners.
Yeah. So like normally, if you leave 1 up, you put 2, you keep 2 back. Or if you got like, I think that's what they're banging on, that we put 4 back there, but we don't. We're very brave at that. We put 3. We go 3-3, go man to man, and pile it on.
I'll tell you why I think it's a flawed tactic, because we don't just like stick it in the middle and you know, get a load of people around the goalkeeper. I mean, sure, we're capable of that, but look at a lot of the set pieces. Saka and Rice have lifted it over the goalkeeper or the near post for a flick on. Like, so all this, like, where you create more room so the goalkeeper can come claim. But the quality of the delivery is so good that the keeper's not really getting in. So all you're doing is giving Gabriel, Saliba, players like that more of a run in. Now, look, you know, we will see. You know, against Monaco, we didn't score from a set piece, but we did in this. You know, it fell to Partey, rolled it to Jesus. You could argue they needed more men back for that. Although I can't quite remember what their setup was for that. Didn't Gabriel hit the crossbar?
Yeah, he did.
Right. So
it was that one.
I'd hardly say it worked. I might be wrong, but we've hit the crossbar and scored from a set piece.
Yeah.
I think we're making the point though that teams are starting now to.
No, you're right.
Do you know what I mean? Think out the box.
Attempt to
yeah. At least they're trying.
And I think the bigger pro to that tactic isn't so much stopping Arsenal, but it's actually that you have just a better counter-attack. If we don't do anything from it, you've got 3 players ready to go the other way and try to score. You know, I think that's a more, or when you hoof it long, you maybe look after the ball and, you know, you protect it and you kind of dealt with the danger. I think that's probably more likely the benefit of the tactic. I mean, I get the idea. That we leave more people back, but I just think the quality of Rice and Saka's deliveries makes that kind of redundant, in my opinion. We'll see.
I agree with that. Cool. Well, I think that was quite in depth regarding the Palace game. Don't think we've missed much else apart from, well, we talked about the Saka injury, and I guess the impact of it is still, you know, up in the air in terms of what it is and how long he'll be out for moving forward. So I guess we'll save that for the next pod. And the next pod is out after Christmas. So if you celebrate, Merry Christmas, enjoy. If you're on holiday, enjoy with the family. Obviously, it's family time, it's holiday time, and yeah, we move on to the predictions or the prediction table. Let me get that up now. No change, but everyone.
You had 3-1, didn't you?
Yeah.
Look at that laugh. It's an evil, vindictive laugh.
When that fourth goal went in and it was Gabby Lovely yelling, I was just hoping it'd be Havertz.
Of course he was. You know, one more goal away from Waka Waka A-ing again. But yeah, let's go into the predictions. Ipswich at the Emirates. Friday kickoff. Yeah, Friday kickoff. James, top of the league. You got
Is this our last story? Is this our last pod before a game?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, because it's Ipswich after Friday, isn't it?
Yeah. Our next pod should be Saturday, I believe. It's on the schedule, but it should be Saturday morning.
Saturday morning, 9 p.m. 9 a.m. Sorry.
I'm gonna say 4-0. I'm gonna go quite big, only because Ipswich haven't really got going. Actually, having such a casual and knowing like nothing about Ipswich and how they did in the Championship, I don't know. With Kieran McKenna's reputation and some of the players they do have, I thought they'd have made a slight better go of it so far. What's their record? They've won one game, right?
Yeah, Tottenham. But yeah, I keep on like I don't watch them.
Two. Sorry,
two. Yeah.
To be fair, they've drawn 6.
Yeah, a lot of people say
they've got double Southampton's points. But
they're in a lot of the games. That's what a lot of people say. Like they've been unlucky or they're tough. But yeah,
I'm not researched enough, and I will become the preview on AFTV. But I think I'll go 4-0 because they've conceded 32 goals. Yeah, I'll go with that.
32.
So
4-0. You sticking with that?
So have Brentford, who are 12th. That's incredible. Anyway, yeah, go on.
4-0 Jordan.
Sackerless Arsenal. I'm going to go 4-2. 4-2.
4-2, yeah. Well, Lee, you was going to go 4-2.
No. I'm thinking of 3-0 or 5-0.
Why are you looking gutted then?
Isn't it?
No, because 4-0 I think is a very good score. Oh, come on, let's go over it. Go on. 5.
5-0, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. So what, 4-0? Huh?
Sorry, Karen. I'd say it.
4-0, 4-2, 5-0. I'm just gonna go for a 3-0. Yeah, Saka's out. You lot fucking going crazy. 3-0. I think that's 3-0. I hope for 6. But yeah, 3-0.
The Premier League table is wild. I mean, let's just look at Tottenham have scored 39 goals, the most of any team in the league, but they've lost 8 games and won 7. They've lost more games than they've won, and they're the league's top scorers.
That's really bad.
Yeah,
that is
you
extraordinary.
expect to beat Liverpool.
That is shut up, Lee. This is extraordinary. So Villa have conceded 26 goals and they're 6th. Forest have only scored 23 and they're 4th. Sorry, I'm nerding out here, but this is all so strange. Yeah, carry on.
That's all the predictions people let us.
Bournemouth in 5th, fantastic effort from that club. You've never been to Bournemouth. It's incredible what they're doing. Incredible.
Yeah. Well, James still gazes in at the Premier League table and works out his next tactical insight. Hit that like button, people. Make sure you're subscribed to all of that good stuff. And we have done our we have done our predictions. Give us yours in the comment section, and also obviously download the AFTV app, and you can make your predictions on the Fourever Predictor. If you've been playing with us, big up, love for the love. If you haven't, then just download it and play between your friends. You can start whenever, and put something up for grabs. Why not? And just a reminder, we are sponsored by Manscaped tonight, so 20% off. Use the code FAPOD, but if you use the link in the description or the pinned comment, that 20% should be automatically applied. But check on checkout, people. If it's not, then add in FAPOD into the promo code section on checkout, and you'll get that 20% off. Like I said, it's a Chairman Pro. I showed you all the bits and bobs, and it comes with this nice little travel case as well. I'm gonna sort one of these lot out.
What's going on there a minute?
Merry Christmas, Manscaped. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. You know what's funny? One of my comments of the week was it said something, to be honest, I've lost it, but it was about Manscaped not picking up on the sponsorship of the last show because James and Lee talked about not being able to grow a beard and such. But here they are for this one. So yeah, we move. Show them some love, people.
I've got a comment. Actually, it's beard related as well. Made me chuckle. Thanks, guys. Was looking all over the internet for beard tips and tricks. It's like my phone is listening to my conversations and recommending gold content for the same. People were loving the beard chat. Big up Manscaped. Merry Christmas. That's twice, by the way, I've said that to you. So just
Yeah, well done.
There was one that's from Mike James. He said pod ends at 6:58. Only came with the beard.
Yeah, I got that one. Very good.
That wasn't even my comment of the day, but I had a few saying. That's a nice little follow on. Who's next?
Well, I thought the comments they went down the rude ones, didn't they? Like to this week, like, you know what I mean. So
Yeah,
obviously someone must have the one about Turkish calling out Lee, saying you're wondering across the whole segment has been crazy. Then follows it up with Arteta likes it slow.
that segment was mad. That segment was crazy.
I didn't even notice.
And then listen to Lee go in behind and stretch it.
Stretch it from behind.
I saw that from Harry HD. Yeah.
Oh, just
so rude, Harry.
Grow up, man.
Grow up, yeah. It's a, you know. So there you go. Oh, I love all those. I can't help it.
Of course you do.
Come on, man. We
They
love
are children.
Yeah, I've got a chuckle about them.
Football Fanatic said that I look like Inspector Gadget. I want to throw that out there. That was in the last one.
You did a bit.
And Resharaj says the 11 brackets expected in the XI expected innuendos. Oh, very good. I didn't even realise that the first time. Said this pod has to rank among the highest we've ever seen. From Lee's wording on Havertz to Erdegaard's flexing and opening his legs to James's wall decor, and not forgetting the lad who paid for Jordan's buns.
Yeah.
Always. What can I say?
Cool people.
Can I just do a quick plug of something Arsenal related just before we wrap up, Turkish? Just to mention. Is that all right? Is that all right? Quick plug.
Not sure we got enough time, man. If I'm honest,
I'll keep it quick.
Remember when Turkish plugged a show of yours that was cancelled?
My show.
Yeah. Well,
podcast.
I said it wrong. What was your last pod before Whisper It Loudly?
Not for
the big up
clicks.
that it's cancelled.
Yeah,
I said just for clicks. I think I said just for clicks.
Just for clicks. That's funny.
Yeah, it's not so right.
Thanks for that. But...
Go on, sorry.
No, just a quick one, just to mention that there's a book that's been out for a few weeks now. It's by a professor called Clive Nwonka. He's written a book called Black Arsenal. Clive Nwonka. Easy, calm down. It's called Black Arsenal. It's a really good book, and it's a book that charts the legacy of Black Britain and beyond connected with Arsenal. So it looks at a lot of the kind of iconic Black players, but also the fan base across the country, the link to Ian Wright and Black Britain. It explores like if the influence of Africa now with Arsenal in regards to the kits. A lot of the collaborations are kind of African inspired. And it's a read for everybody. It's a really interesting read. I recommend it. I've done a piece on it for Channel 4 News. It's on YouTube. So if you just Google Black Arsenal Channel 4 News, it'll come up. But if you want to buy a really good present for a really good friend this Christmas, go and check it out. Black Arsenal, and especially appropriate as AFTV have just got back, I believe, from Sierra Leone, where they made some phenomenal content. So just a quick plug to that book. It's really interesting, and if you didn't know your history in regards to Black Britain and Africans who support this club and have massively helped this club become what it is, I recommend you go and buy that book.
We should put a link to that video, the piece you did in the description.
What is he, your friend?
Oh, thank you. He is now.
Okay.
He's a professor, but he's written a book. He's been working it for like 10 years. He's actually a Liverpool fan. But he's been working on this book for like 10 years, and it came out a couple months ago.
James, I love him.
Say no more, people.
I get it.
Hit that like button. Make sure it's at 1,000 before we wrap up. Make sure you subscribe. Put the notification bell on. 20% off Manscaped. If you haven't already, go click that link in the description or the comment section pinned. Use the code FAPOD for 20% off, and go grab something before the new year, people. And heading into the new year, keep yourselves groomed. Love for the love. Hit the like button. We're at peace.